Next question. Maggie has employment income of 1,40,000 for the tax year and made a personal pension contribution of 50,000. She does not have any brought forward unused annual allowance. Requirement is to calculate Maggie's income tax liability for 2022-23. So first we have to consider the taxable amount. This is 1,40,000, the employment income. Employment income is 1,40,000, and there is a personal allowance of 12,570. Remember हमें क्यों जो है personal allowance deduct करना पड़ रहा है? Because we have to consider the adjusted income, adjusted net income, and adjusted net income is calculated as net income 1,40,000, and from this we have to deduct the gross amount 50,000. He made a contribution, Maggie made a contribution, so it is a net amount. So to make it gross, we have to divide 50,000 by 80%, and this will be 50,000 divided by 80% give you 62,500. So after deducting gross personal pension contribution of 62,500, out of 1,40,000 we'll get the amount of 77,500. So as our adjusted income is 77,500 less than 1 lakh, so full personal allowance is available. Remember, adjustment in personal allowance is done when the adjusted net income is more than 1 lakh or between 1 lakh to 1,25,140. पर्सनल अलाउंस में एडजस्टमेंट उस वक्त की जाती है कि जब आपकी एडजस्टेड नेट इनकम 1 लाख से 1,25,140 के दरमियान हो, राइट. सो इसके लिए हमें कैलकुलेट करना होता है एडजस्टेड नेट इनकम को. हाउ टू कैलकुलेट एडजस्टेड नेट इनकम? दिस इज सेड टू बी नेट इनकम, and from net income we have to deduct the gross personal pension contribution. क्या हमें डिडक्ट करना है? gross personal pension contribution. So 62,500 आपके पास gross personal pension contribution है. In the question they have mentioned for the tax year and made a personal pension contribution. So remember, made means paid by the individual person. So any amount that is paid by the individual person is said to be a net amount. To make it gross हमें उसे 80% से divide करना. So 80% से divide करके हमने find out की gross personal pension contribution 62,500, and when we have deducted this amount from the net income, we have adjusted net income of 77,500 only. So it is less than 1 lakh. So full personal allowance is available. Now next thing is we have to calculate the extended basic rate band. Extended basic rate band. Our basic rate band is 37,700 plus the gross contribution of 62,500. Make this rate band as 62,500 plus 37,700. This is 1,200,000. This is 1,200,000. So for the first 1,200,000 of income, the tax liability would be, is there any other benefit mentioned? No. The tax liability would be at the rate of 20%, right? Second thing, we have to consider how much of the income, taxable income. In fact, this is said to be our taxable income. So how much of our taxable income is in excess of 1,200,000? So it is 27,230. How it is calculated? 1,27,430 minus 1,200,000. So ये आपके पास जो portion है, it will be taxed at 40%, right? Now next thing is we have to consider the annual allowance charge. In the question, they have mentioned that she does not have any brought forward unused allowance. She does not have any brought forward unused allowance. So we know that if the contribution, gross pension contribution is in excess of 40,000, ग्रॉस पेंशन कंट्रीब्यूशन यहाँ पे इस क्वेश्चन में हमारे पास है 62,500 एंड हाउ मच ऑफ दिस इज इन एक्सेस ऑफ एनुअल अलाउंस, दिस इज 40,000. सो एनुअल अलाउंस charge, this is annual allowance charge. So annual allowance charge is applicable on 22,500 of income. जितनी इनकम उसकी, जितनी अमाउंट उसकी ग्रॉस पर्सनल पेंशन कंट्रीब्यूशन की 40,000 से ज़्यादा है, वट एवर अमाउंट इज इन एक्सेस ऑफ एनुअल अलाउंस ऑफ 40,000 of gross personal pension contribution, it will attract the annual allowance charge. So on this amount of 22,500 we have to calculate annual allowance charge, and that is also at the rate of 40%. So this is how we have to calculate the tax liability. अगेन एनुअल अलाउंस चार्ज कब कैलकुलेट किया जाता है, जब आपकी ग्रॉस पर्सनल पेंशन कंट्रीब्यूशन एनुअल अलाउंस से ज़्यादा हो. एनुअल अलाउंस 40,000 है और इस क्वेश्चन में दे हैव मेंशन दैट दिस पर्सन मैगी डज नॉट हैव एनी ब्रॉट फॉरवर्ड अनयूज्ड एनुअल अलाउंस. सो वट एवर इज़ द ग्रॉस पर्सनल पेंशन कंट्रीब्यूशन इन एक्सेस ऑफ 40,000 इट अट्रैक्ट्स द एनुअल अलाउंस चार्ज. तो अब हम इसे कैलकुलेट कर लेते हैं. On 1,02,000 this is 20%, so this will be 20,040. On 27,230 it is 40%, this is 10,892. And on 22,500 again this is 40%, so it is 9,000. So it will be 2,3,993. 39,932 is total tax liability of Maggie. So important one question कि जहाँ पे आपको कई चीज़ें कंसिडर करनी है कि there is either there is any adjustment in personal loans, ये चेक करना है, एक्सटेंड करना है बेसिक रेट बैंड को, और एनुअल अलाउंस चार्ज के लिए अमाउंट फाइंड आउट करके उस पर एनुअल अलाउंस चार्ज भी कैलकुलेट करना है. अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन अबाउट द इनहेंस कैपिटल अलाउंसेस. रिमेंबर दैट कंपनीज़ के हवाले से अगर कंपनीज़ ने कोई एसेट परचेज़ किया है इन बिटवीन 1 अप्रैल 21 to 31 मार्च 23, तो उस पर इन्हेंस कैपिटल अलाउंस प्रोवाइड किया जाता है. रिमेंबर दिस इज़ नॉट फॉर इंडिविजुअल अगर कोई एसेट परचेज करेगा उस पर कभी इन्हेंस कैपिटल अलाउंस नहीं किया जाता. दिस इज़ ऑलवेज फॉर कंपनीज. सो मार्स लिमिटेड परचेज्ड मेन पूल मशीनरी फॉर 2,50,000 एंड स्पेशल रेट पूल प्लांट फॉर 1,300,000 in the year ended 31st March 2023. Requirement is to calculate Mars Limited maximum capital allowance for the year ended 31st March 23. So जो मशीनरी आपके पास 2,50,000 है, इस पे तो हमने सबसे पहले कैलकुलेट करना है इनहेंस कैपिटल अलाउंस. सो 2,50,000 पे 130% इनहेंस कैपिटल अलाउंस आ जाएगा. सो दिस विल बी 3,25,000. तो ये तो आ गया इनहेंस कैपिटल अलाउंस मेन पूल आइटम पे. अब आपके पास जो स्पेशल रेट पूल आइटम है 1,300,000, इस 1,300,000 में से आपके पास 1 मिलियन पे तो आपको एनुअल इन्वेस्टमेंट अलाउंस अवेलेबल है. सो 1 मिलियन का तो हो गया आपके पास एनुअल इन्वेस्टमेंट अलाउंस. बाकी जितनी अमाउंट आपके पास इन एक्सेस ऑफ 1 मिलियन है 3 लाख, उसका भी 50% आपको अलाउ किया जाता है एज एनुअल अलाउंस. सो दिस विल बी 1,50,000. सो टोटल विल बी 14,75,000. सो ज़रा रूल देख लें आप लोग. द एनहेंस कैपिटल अलाउंसेस आर 130% ऑफ फर्स्ट ईयर अलाउंस फॉर एक्सपेंडिचर फॉलिंग इनटू मेन पूल. सो इसके मुताबिक हमने जो मेन पूल की आइटम थी उस पर 130% अलाउंस कैलकुलेट किया. इसको सुपर डिडक्शन अलाउंस भी कहा जाता है. देन 50% ऑफ फर्स्ट ईयर अलाउंस फॉर एक्सपेंडिचर फॉलिंग इनटू द स्पेशल रेट पूल. सो स्पेशल रेट पूल पे पहले हम 50% फर्स्ट ईयर अलाउंस देने से पहले एनुअल इन्वेस्टमेंट अलाउंस प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं 1 मिलियन का. एंड जितनी भी अमाउंट इन एक्सेस ऑफ एनुअल इन्वेस्टमेंट अलाउंस है यानी 3 लाख, उस पर 50% अलाउंस प्रोवाइड किया जा रहा है. एंड दैट इज़ 50% ऑफ 3 लाख 1,50,000. सो टोटल इज़ 14,75,000. So remember that this super deduction allowance or enhanced capital allowance is only for companies. So if the word limited is mentioned, then you have to calculate the super deduction allowance or enhanced capital allowance. Again, next very important question with reference to capital allowance. In this question they are mentioning about the private use, and we have to understand the point. What is the difference between the private use by owner and private use by employee? Ali start to trade on 1st April 2021 and prepares account to 31st March each year. Ali buy 2 cars for his business on 30 June 21. Car 1 was bought for 18,000, has CO2 emission of 60 gram. As it has a CO2 emission of more than 50 grams, means it will be considered in the column special rate pool, and is used by Ali privately 20%. It means 80% is the business use, and we have to calculate capital loans with reference to this 80%. Car 2 was bought for 15,000 and has CO2 emission of 45 grams, means it will be considered as a part of main pool, and is used privately by an employee Julian. So remember that if the car is used privately by an employee, it will not create any difference in the calculation of capital loans. उससे capital loans की calculation पे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता कि अगर employee privately use कर रहा है. So 50% of the time. On 1st September 2022, both cars were sold for 9,000. Require assuming tax rate for the tax year 22-23 applicable throughout. Calculate Ali's capital allowance for the year ending 31st March 22 and 31st March 23. So हम इसके लिए बनाते हैं मेन पूल. So मेन पूल and special rate pool. Then it is business percentage and capital allowance. These are the 4 columns we have to consider. First we have to record the written down balance, and that is there's no written down balance. In fact, one car that has a price of 18,000 is to be recorded in special rate pool, and the other car which has a price of 15,000 will be recorded in main pool. The car in the main pool will attract a capital allowance at the rate of 18%. Doesn't matter that this car has been privately used by the employee. इससे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता कि वो कार एम्प्लॉई ने प्राइवेटली यूज़ की है, तो इसे हम मेन पूल में ही रिकॉर्ड करेंगे, अलहदा से रिकॉर्ड नहीं करेंगे, और इस पर अलाउंस भी 2700 कंप्लीट लिया जाएगा. सो दिस इज़ 2700. While the second car, which has a CO2 emission of 60 gram per kilometer, lies in the special rate pool. So we have to calculate the capital allowance at the rate of 6%. So 6% would be 1080. So 1080 is to be deducted from special rate pool item, but 80% of this will be provided as capital allowance. कैपिटल अलाउंस कितना प्रोवाइड किया जाएगा? 80% ऑफ दैट. सो 2700 तो कम्प्लीटली अमाउंट आ जाएगी, बट 1080 it is 80% would be regarded as capital allowance, and that is 864. So this is the capital allowance for the first year, 3500 and 64, right? Now for the next year we have to consider what is the return on value. In case of main pool this is 12,300. In case of special rate pool this is 16,920, right? So another point you need to consider here, you need to remember that it is the total amount of 6% allowance that we have to deduct from the special rate pool item. नो डाउट हमने 80% इसका प्रोवाइड किया है कैपिटल अलाउंस, बट हम 864 नहीं बल्कि 1080 ही डिडक्ट करेंगे. नाउ इन द नेक्स्ट ईयर वी हैव सोल्ड दीज एसेट फॉर 9000 ईच. So this will be 3300 and this will be 7920, right? So इस 3300 पे हम अलाउंस क्रिएट करेंगे जो बैलेंसिंग अमाउंट रह गई है 18% एंड दिस विल बी 594. So 594 would be the allowance and remaining amount would be 2706. So 594 is recorded here. While in case of 7920, as this car is also used in this particular year 80% for the business purpose, so for this 7920 80% would be considered as capital allowance. So इसका 80% आ जाएगा 6336. सो यहाँ पे एक और पॉइंट आपको याद रखना है दैट द बैलेंसिंग अलाउंस इज नॉट प्रोवाइडेड फॉर द आइटम दैट रिमेन्स इन द मेन पूल अनलेस द बिजनेस इज सीज्ड. जब तक बिजनेस ख़त्म ना हो जाए मेन पूल आइटम है उस पर बैलेंसिंग अलाउंस प्रोवाइड नहीं किया जाता. लेकिन स्पेशल रेट पूल के हवाले से हमने जितनी भी अमाउंट बची थी 7920 की उस पर 80% अलाउंस कैलकुलेट किया. So now the total allowance will be 6930. So again very important that there are different points that you need to consider कि अगर स्पेशल रेट पूल की आइटम आपके पास नेक्स्ट ईयर ट्रांसफ़र की जाती है तो किस अमाउंट पे उसे रिकॉर्ड किया जाना है. सेल कर दी जाती है अगर स्पेशल रेट पूल की आइटम जिसे प्राइवेटली भी यूज़ किया जा रहा है तो ऐसी सूरत में कैसे अलाउंस की कैलकुलेशन की जाती है. जो भी आपके पास सेल करने के बाद बैलेंसिंग फिगर रह गई है उस अमाउंट का 80% यानी बिजनेस यूज़ प्रोपोर्शन कैपिटल अलाउंस से ट्रैक करेगा. लेकिन ये बात मेन पूल आइटम के लिए नहीं है जब तक कि बिज़नेस सीज ना हो जाए. सो इसलिए हमने 3300 पे 18% जो बैलेंसिंग फिगर रह गई थी इस पर 18% ही अलाउंस कैलकुलेट किया. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज सिंपल एंड दैट इज So this question is about structure building allowance. Walls Limited purchased a newly constructed office building from a developer for 21,000 on 1st July 2022 and bought into use immediately. The purchase price of 2100 includes 60,000 relating to other acquisition costs. So other acquisition costs, remember, structure building allowance attract nahi karti. So other acquisition costs won't attract the allowance, structure building allowance. Walls Limited prepare account to December each year. Requirement is what is the maximum SBA structure building allowance available to Walls Limited in the year ended 31st December 2022. So हमने क्या कंसिडर करना है. सबसे पहले we have to consider the amount that attracts the structure building allowance, that is 2100 minus 60,000 and that is the amount of 2040,000. This is the amount कि जिस पे स्ट्रक्चर बिल्डिंग अलाउंस अप्लाई किया जाएगा. सो 2040,000 मल्टीप्लाई बाय 3% मल्टीप्लाई बाय 6/12. दिस इज द स्ट्रक्चर बिल्डिंग अलाउंस. हाउ इट इज 6/12? बिकॉज ये बिल्डिंग परचेज की गई थी ऑन 1st जुलाई एंड ईयर एंडिंग डेट 31st दिसंबर है. सो इस पीरियड के मुताबिक हमने इसे कैलकुलेट करना है. सो दैट विल बी 6 So it will be 30,600. This is your answer. Next question is about calculation of capital gain. Lily purchased an antique glass vase for 20,000 on 31st March 2007, incurring legal fee of 800. The market for antique glassware has since slumped and Lily sold the vase for 5,200 on 1st January 23, incurring the auctioneer fee of 200. What is Lily's allowable loss on this disposal? So just we have to calculate the loss, allowable loss. So first we have to calculate the net sale proceed, and remember अगर आपके पास selling price is less than 6,000, so it will be considered 6,000. So gross sale proceed is considered to be 6,000. This is said to be gross sale proceed. Remember rule that कि अगर आपके पास sale proceed is less than 6,000, you will consider it as 6,000. So after deducting the auctioneer fee of 200, the net sale proceed would be 5,800, right? And then we have to consider the allowable cost. The vase has a cost of 20,000 and incurred a legal fee of 800. So this is total 20,800, that is allowable cost. So difference of these two is said to be 15,000. This is said to be allowable loss. तो मेन पॉइंट जिसमें आपको इस क्वेश्चन की इम्पोर्टेंस है वो ये है that you have to remember that if the sale proceed is less than 6,000, we have to take this as 6,000. So here in this question the sale proceed is less than 6,000. So हमें याद रखना है कि it is the gross sale proceed that we have to consider 6,000, not net sale proceed. We have to consider gross sale proceed as 6,000, deduct 200, that is said to be selling cost, and the net sale proceed is now 6,800. So this is our net sale proceed. And then there is a allowable cost of 20,000, the purchase price of antique vase, and 800 the legal fee. So it is 20,800. So allowable losses are 15,000. Next question is on 10th January 2023, a freehold property owned by Deere was damaged by a fire. The property had been purchased on 29th May 2010 for 70,000. Deere received insurance proceed of 36,000 on 20th February 23, and she spent a total of 40,000 during March restoring the property. Deere has elected to disregard the part disposal. What is the base cost of the restored freehold property for capital gain tax purpose? तो यहाँ पे restoration expenses are more than the amount of insurance proceed. So how this will be calculated? So we have to calculate the capital gain tax, base cost. So for this we have to consider the original amount of asset, and that is 70,000, right? Then the amount received from insurance company 36,000 would be deducted. This is original cost. This is insurance proceed. And then restoration expenses would be added. And restoration expenses are 40,000. So now the base cost would be 74,000. So remember this point, if you have received insurance proceed for the damage of an asset, and that would be reduced from the original cost, and if the restoration expenses are incurred, that would increase the base cost. So next question is, Gilly draws up account to 30th June each year. On 5th August 2022, he sold a car for 17,500, which had originally been purchased on 1st September 21 for 18,000. This car has a CO2 emission of 180 grams. So if it has a CO2 emission of 180 grams, it means this lies on special rate pool. On 1st July 21, there was no balance on either the main or special rate pool. For the year ended 30th June 23, the sale of the car results in capital allowance or charges of. So we need to consider that the asset was purchased for 18,000. So at the end of the first year, a 6% allowance would be provided. So 6% allowance is 1080. Why 6%? Because the car has a CO2 emission of 180 grams and it lies in a special rate pool. And in the special rate pool, the capital allowance rate is 6%. So it is now 16,920. So the asset with a carrying value of 16,920 was sold for 17,500, more than the carrying value. So this is the benefit for the person, and benefit is for 580 amount. So that will be considered as balancing charge. Means this amount will be deducted from the capital allowance, and if there is no capital allowance, it will be added back to tax adjusted profit. Next is Mcq'S commenced trading on 1st February 2022 and prepared his first set of account to 30th June 23. The period for which his profit are assessed for the second tax year trading is. So here we need to consider the first period of account. So this is a period of account of 16 months or 17 months from February 22 to 30th June 23. So in that case, our first tax year would be from 1st February 22 to 5th April 22. Right? This is our first tax year. This is named as 21-22 tax year. Then, as in the second tax year, till 5th April 23, our period of account has not ended. So we'll simply consider the second tax year from 6th April 22 to 5th April 23. Because in the second tax year, our period of account has not ended. So we will simply consider this point, that 6th April to 5th April 23 is our normal tax year. There is no rule to be applicable in case the period of account is not ended in the second tax year. Next, Lena has been trading as a picture framer for many years. Her recent results have been as follows. So this is year ended 30th June 19, profit of 30,000, 30 June 20, profit of 25,000, and 30th June 21, loss of 45,000. Lena's other income is bank interest of 5,000 each year. Assuming that Lena claims relief for her loss in the most efficient way, how much loss, if any, is available to carry forward to the tax year 22-23? How much loss is carry forward? So you know that for individual there are different options available. They can carry back the loss to be set off against the total profit of previous 12 months. So first we have to consider that in the previous year, and previous year is 30th June 20, in this year the total income of that person is 25,000 plus 5,000. This is 30,000 of his income, that is said to be total income of previous year. So out of 45,000 of loss, 30,000 would be set off against year ended 30th June 2022, right? एज एक इंडिविजुअल के पास ऑप्शन है कि वो करंट ईयर एंड कैरी बैक का भी ऑप्शन ले सकता है. मीन्स ही हैज़ 4 ऑप्शन. ही कैन सेट ऑफ लॉस अगेंस्ट करंट ईयर टोटल प्रॉफिट. ही कैन सेट ऑफ लॉस अगेंस्ट प्रीवियस ईयर टोटल प्रॉफिट. ही कैन सेट ऑफ लॉस फर्स्ट अगेंस्ट करंट ईयर एंड देन प्रीवियस ईयर्स टोटल प्रॉफिट. एंड फोर्थ ऑप्शन इज he can set off loss against previous year's total profit and then current year total profit. So हमने सबसे पहले ऑप्शन ये अडॉप्ट किया कि हम पिछले साल के प्रीवियस ईयर के टोटल प्रॉफिट के अगेंस्ट लॉस को सेटअप कर रहे हैं. So out of 45,000 of total loss, 30,000 of loss has been set up in the previous period and remaining is 15,000. Now remember that we have to consider the most efficient way. And in the current year, no doubt we have an income of 5,000. There's a loss, so we will not record loss in 30th June 21. But our other income is 5,000. So we can set off this 5,000 of profit against the loss, but we won't. लेकिन हम नहीं करेंगे. Why so? Because we know that this 5,000 of income will be set up by the personal loans. ये तो 5,000 की अमाउंट तो पर्सनल लोन से ही सेटअप हो जाएगी, तो यहाँ पे इसे ज़ाया करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. सो दैट इज़ वाई द 15,000 इज द अमाउंट दैट विल बी कैरीड फॉरवर्ड टू द नेक्स्ट टैक्स ईयर. Right? Person, and he died on 1st January 2022. During his lifetime, he made 2 gifts. On 1st January 2015, he gave 2,90,000 to his son, and on 15th November 2015, he gave 2 lakh to his daughter. What is the chargeable amount for the second gift? So it is second gift that has an amount of 2 lakh. And we have to deduct the annual exempt amount, that is 3,000 for the current year. And the previous year, if we consider in the previous year we have gifted in the tax year 15-16, so it is 1,97,000 that is said to be the chargeable amount, right? So because पिछले साल में हमने gift दिया था, तो annual exempt amount of the previous year has been utilized. So we have only the current year and the amount of annual exemption available for us. So after this, 1,97,000 would be the amount chargeable. Another very important question: Shell started in business as a sole trader on 1st November 21 and prepared her first set of account to 30th September 22. So this is said to be a period from 1st November 21 to 30th September 22. This is a period of 11 months. And her second set of accounts to 30th September 23. She made the following losses in her first 2 period of trading. First period 11,000 loss, and second period 30th September 23 18,000 of loss. Now question on what are her trading losses for the tax year 21-22 and 22-23. So the business starting date is 1st November. This is 1st November. So the first tax year is said to be 21-22. From 1st November 21 to 5th April 22. This is the period of November, December, January, February, March, 5 months period. So if it is a 11,000 of loss for the period of 11 months, what is the loss for 5 months period? So it will be 5,000. Remember, first tax year आपका हमेशा इसी तरह फाइंड आउट किया जाता है डेट ऑफ कमेंसमेंट ऑफ बिजनेस से फॉलोइंग ईयर टैक्स ईयर एंडिंग डेट तक. Then in the year 22-23, as your period of account is less than 12 month, so हमने क्या करना है, हमने from 1st November 21 से लेकर 31st अक्टूबर 22 तक की प्रॉफिट या लॉस को कंसिडर करना होता है. So in the first 11 months from 1st November 21 to 30th September 22, this is the period of 11 months. In this period, we have total loss suffered 11,000. Out of this 11,000 of loss, 5,000 has already been recognized. So remember, losses overlap nahi hote, losses are not overlapped. So remaining 6,000 of your loss will be considered in this tax year. Means this is a period from 1st November 21 to 30th September 22. The total loss is 11,000, but as out of this 5,000 of loss has been recognized in the previous year and the losses are not overlapped, So remaining 6,000 loss would be recorded there. Plus, we have to consider from 30th September 22 to 31st October 22. So this is a period of 1 month. So we have to consider what loss we have suffered in this 1 month period. In the next year, losses are 18,000. So if 18,000 is a loss of whole year, what is the loss for 1 month? It is 1500. So 1500 would be considered, and in the second tax year the loss would be 7500. So this is the question. They have given us two consecutive losses in the accounting period. So we have to identify what is to be recorded as loss in the first and second tax year.